Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Report. And you're going to hell. And you're going to hell. And you're going to hell. And you thought about it and you decided, I don't want to go to hell. So you threw those hellbound shoes into the trash. And you're especially going to hell because not only are you endorsing those satanic shoes, the devil's kicks, you are responsible for one of the most satanic and devilish music videos ever produced. Every single one of you attached to that shoe is going to hell. Or not. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The backlash against Lil Nas X and what has become to be known as the Satan shoe. And the Lil Nas X music video Montero, which has all of the sin that you could possibly want in a music video: stripper poles, sex, and lap dances with the devil, has produced a double backlash for the old country road singer, who may very well wind up taking that old country road down to the unemployment line. Nike scored a victory against shoemaker Mischief, citing copyright infringement and damaging the Nike brand with their release of the Satan shoe, which Nike did not give them permission to do, even though the same company did what they call the walk on water shoe, or the Jesus shoe, which as opposed to blood in the heels, it had water in the heels. It had a cross across the tongue, similar to the pentagram, I guess that's on the Satan shoe. Nike didn't have a problem with that. So, I guess a little bit of hypocrisy on their part, but it is understandable that any association with devilish or satanic images is going to have a decidedly bad impact on Nike, as is evident with a lot of people blaming Nike for the shoe and saying that flat out they're not going to support Nike, ever support the products again, because Nike endorses the devil, which they do not. So it has to be understood that Nike has nothing to do and had nothing to do with not only the Satan shoe, but the Jesus shoe as well. The Mischief Shoe Company is a designer shoe company, and they, I guess, take existing shoes and they kind of do their little bit of art on them, or do a take of whatever it is they want to do on the shoes, and they sell the shoes. So even though Nike won their lawsuit, there were only 666 pairs of these shoes made. So it remains to be seen as to whether or not Nike is going to request that those shoes be returned to them so they can destroy them, or if they're going to go after the profits generated by the shoe. So with 666 pairs, a good amount of controversy behind them, and all of them sold, it remains to be seen as to whether or not this Satan shoe is going to become a collector's classic down the road. Right now, it's not looking too good because nobody wants that shoe in their house. You know, people have limits. You can push people to the limit on certain things, but people have limits. And there are limits to what's considered tasteful. And when you push that envelope too far, people will respond. And what people are letting you know by the reaction of this shoe and Lil Nas X is most people are God-fearing people. And, without passing judgment or without being judgmental, because, the same person that I guess is rejecting the Satan shoe, well, the Cardi B WAP music video, you're watching that, and you're watching other things, and stuff like Game of Thrones, and anything that has like sex and violence and all that stuff. But there are some things that you just don't play with, and you do not play around with the devil. And now we will move on to the main instigator of this whole Satan shoe endorsing mess, Lil Nas X. And I guess what could be called the co-conspirator in all of this, the Montero music video. Now, good art sometimes falls into only two categories. You love it or you hate it, you like it or you don't like it. There is no middle ground. You have to pick. The reaction to the video has been pretty much this reaction.
The black man have been kind of made the face of homosexuality.
I don't know what I'm looking at, but
I have not watched this video yet. However, I saw pictures and people have been talking about this music video, so I'm going to do a review on it.
Oh, wow. That was Oh,
Well, you know what made him famous? I said, well, he was that horses song. Got my horses and whatever that song. I was like, man, that song's got a cool beat. I'll never be able to listen to it again. Bunch of devil worshiping, wicked nonsense. Pentagram wearing on your Nike tennis shoes 666. You think I'm gonna stand for that? You've lost your mind.
The whole video is just a whole demonic thing, like a whole demonic vibe.
okay. It's a lot going on, especially in his cranium.
Pastor Steve is here to tell you something, Nike. I ain't gonna be wearing your shoes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What have I got myself into?
And first off, you can't criticize something without seeing the entire thing so you can put it in its proper context. So to say something like, well, I watched 10 seconds of it and that's all I wanted to see, that's all I could watch, so this is my take on it, that makes no sense. You cannot have a take on something unless you see it in its entirety. Number two, we are looking at something through the perspective of a gay individual. So if you're a heterosexual man, yeah, you're going to be put off by the sexual parts, the men kissing men and men licking men on the stomach and the lap dancing and grinding with the devil. Yeah, that's going to put most heterosexual men off because they're not going to be able to sit through the entire video without having a opinion from their heterosexual standpoint. This is not images from a heterosexual standpoint. Much like the WAP video, that was from a female's perspective. So, in which case, if you're a heterosexual man, you don't mind watching that. But if you're a gay man watching that video, you're like, ugh, that is entirely too much vagina for me. All those women are going to hell. Now, what I got out of the music video after watching it was about basically all of the things that are in the Bible already, which is temptation, sex, sin, redemption, condemnation, persecuting people because they're different than you are. Some of the characters I didn't understand. Some of the characters I did understand. The stripper pole deal, which is what I took as a fall from heaven down into hell. And obviously breaking the devil's neck, does that mean you went down into hell and ultimately your plan was to kill the devil? What I didn't understand though was when you took the devil's horns off, put them on your head, do you now become the devil? A lot of layers in the video that if you can watch it from start to finish and kind of analyze the images, it's not a bad video. It's just like WAP. Whether they intended it to be or not, it became a statement on female sexuality. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion absolutely hit the mark. However, when Cardi B followed up with that whole bag piece of trash up, that was just pure sex, gratuitous sex for the sake of sex, for the sake of selling records, for the sake of getting attention. With the Nas X video, this is what he wanted people to see from his perspective of religious persecution, being different, all those things. And, we've seen plenty of instances, especially in churches, where you have these black preachers that get up there and imagine being gay sitting in church, listening to the preacher talk about gays are going to hell and they're an abomination. Then you find out that preacher is having sex with boys. So hypocrisy, all of those things that we've been dealing with in a religious context are kind of in that video. Sometimes we just don't like to look at things that we supposedly believe in from somebody else's perspective and how it affects them. Now, I do believe when it comes to art or anything, when it comes to me, for example, okay, sometimes the things that I say on the Wake Up Report might sound a little outlandish to somebody. Therefore, I should be held accountable for what I say, and I shouldn't have a problem explaining what I said, why I said it, and what my intent was when I said what I said. And this is where I disagree with Lil Nas X. So-called celebrities and entertainers, when they achieve a certain level of success, seem to think that they can say and do anything that they want to do, and nobody's supposed to be able to call them out on it. Much like Lizzo showing her ass all over the internet all the time. I'm sick of looking at her fat ass all over the internet. But for me to say that, I'm fat shaming and I'm doing and saying all kind of horrible things about Lizzo, and she knows it. You know, she'll put you in that trick bag to where, you know, you basically whoring yourself out all over the internet. I'm sick of looking at your long, flabby titties. I'm sick of looking at your fat, out of shape ass. Sick of looking at your cottage cheese thighs. But for me to say that, I'm fat shaming or I will be attacked for attacking plus size people. That's not necessarily the case. The case is I'm sick of you putting your fat ass all over the internet. And I should be able to say that, because if you can put your fat ass all over the internet, then me looking at the fat ass or not being able to help look at the fat ass because it's everywhere, I have a right to say something about it. So when you play with images and imagery that you know is absolutely a hot button issue for like 95% of the people on the planet, and you give a glib mock apology for what you did and you get called out for it, don't fall back on the, it's because I'm gay. Everybody's attacking me because I'm gay. You don't know what it's like being gay. You know, that's just a load of BS. Because, dude, listen, seriously, after the success of Old Country Road and after you showed up at award shows dressed the way you were dressed, it was like, duh. You know, it's not like we didn't know, but we're like so over you being gay. It's like the only person who's not over Lil Nas X being gay is Lil Nas X, because you're the one that's always bringing it up. If you focused more on your music, just like Lizzo, if you focused more on your music instead of you being gay and you showing your fat ass all over the internet, it really wouldn't be a problem. It would be like, oh man, look, did you hear that Lil Nas X song? Yeah, that was a dope song, man. It'd be like, oh, hey man, you know Lil Nas X was gay? Like, dude, I don't care if he's gay or not. The song is dope. That's the level you're supposed to be shooting for. But when you take your sexuality and you try to hammer everybody over the head with it, that's when it gets offensive, and that's when it means your agenda, more or less, can be questioned. Did you get involved in all this Satan shoe mess and with the satanic contacts in your eyes and all that stuff? Are you doing this just to be controversial and you don't mean any of it? Or are you trying to make a statement? Because to me, when you say, and you had the prime opportunity to say, this is why I made this video, and you can educate people on what you want them to know, instead, you retreat into that, well, I don't owe anybody an explanation. I do what I want to do. At the same time, you put up on the internet, you know, people have been persecuting me my whole life because I've been gay. I just wanted you to feel what I felt as a gay person and blah, 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 blah. But dude, please, come on. We get it already. Everybody has gay people in their family, and all gay people go through that mess, and we need to do something about it. But what we don't need is you turning it into a circus so you can sell shoes, be as controversial as you want to be, put out images that you don't want to be responsible for. But we get it, dude. You're a nut nibbler. You're a ball banger. You're a booty bandit. You're a schlong connoisseur. Look at those lips. Why would we not think you're gay with lips like that? You could suck the peel off a banana with those lips. And all of you know it, and you're thinking it. I'm just the one to say it, and I should be held accountable for what I say so I can explain to you why I just said everything I said. I shouldn't have said that, but I said it anyway. So time will tell as to whether or not Lil Nas X, with this video and this shoe, has effectively torpedoed his career. What is he, like 21 years old? You know, he's a kid. And like most 21-year-olds, you think you know everything. The stuff that you discover has been here forever, so you think you're taking a stand on things that people have been taking a stand on for decades. And I guess the main lesson to be learned from all of this is that if in any way, shape, or form you play around with the devil, your ass will always get burned. This is KTM and the Wake Up Report saying, think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.